In today's video, we're going to create this interactive restaurant sales dashboard in Power BI. So let's get started. The link to the dataset is in the description below. So first, what we're going to do, I already have my Power BI open. You can go ahead, open Power BI, create a new file, and I've already named it, change name to restaurant sales. You can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to go to get data from another source, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to select text/CSV, and I'm going to connect. Now it's opening the last directory I used. You can go ahead and navigate to whatever directory your data is in. So I'm going to select my data, which is restaurant sales, and I'm going to open that and give that a moment to load. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to go to transform data. Next, we're just going to take a moment to look at our data. So we have dates, we have day of sale, we have time, we have order ID, table number, item number, category, quantity, unit price, total sales. So the total sales is unit price multiplied by quantity multiplied by unit price will give us our total sales. Mm, and next we have our payment method, server name, customer type, and dine type. So we're just going to scroll back here and we're going to select our time column. I'm going to right click on this column and we're going to duplicate it. So right click, go to duplicate column, and it's going to create a duplicate. So I'm going to double click on it so that we can rename it, and I'm going to rename this to R. Next, what I'm going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to transform this data. So once again, right click and go to transform, and we're going to select R and then select R once more. So I'm just going to select R, and now we have just the hours of purchase. So want to look at the volume of sales at different times of the day. So 11 is 11 a.m., 21 is 9 p.m., 16 is 4 p.m., 19 is 7 p.m. And with that, we are done for this stage, and we are going to close and apply. I'll give that a moment to load. Okay, now that our data is finally loaded, I'm just going to check that everything is fine. We have time here, and we also have hour here. Next, we're going to go to the table view tab. We're going to open that, and I'm going to change this. Since this was alright in our data set, what I'm saying here, I don't like. I change it. I tend to change it. If you want to change it, if you want to leave it as it is, you can leave it as it is. But I like changing. So I'm going to select it, and these options will pop up. So I'm going to change the format, and I'm going to change it to day, month, year. You can change it to whatever format your region uses, but this is the format we tend to use. So I'm going to use day, month, and year. Next, I'm going to change unit price and total sales to currency. So I'm going to select unit price. So I'm going to use the two methods I tend to use. I tend to use them interchangeably. It's fine for whichever one you use. I'm going to select general, and I'm going to select currency, and by default it will go to dollar. You can change it to whatever currency you want to use, but for to make things easier, we're just going to use dollars. I'm going to go to total sales, and this one I can just select this dollar icon and display the values as in this column as currency. So I'm just going to select that, and either way both of them are working is the same thing. So now that we're done with this, we're just going to go back to our reports view, and we're going to go right into creating our charts and visualizations. Now, first things first, we're going to create our KPIs. So we're going to go to our build visual tab, and we're going to select card. and there we have a card. Now for the data fields, we're going to use total sale here. So this is our total sale for this entire data set. Now I'm going to, you could duplicate it, but I'm just going to insert a new one. So I'm just going to insert another card here, and we are going to look at our average sale per transaction. So I'm going to use total sale once more, drag it to the field, but this time we're going to change this to average, and there we have this. We'll fix the decimal places later. Now finally we are going to insert yet another card. This time I want to look at the number of transactions. So what we're going to do is drag order ID and put it in the fields tab. So it's showing us our first order ID. So what we're going to do is select this drop down, select count distinct, and it's going to count each individual transaction ID, and we have 700 transactions. So for 700 transactions at the average sale of $19, we have these sales during our um, data set, the recorded period, which based on what we're going to do is just 6 months. So I don't know if this is good or this is bad. Now in the context of our data set, these are the sales metrics. These are KPIs for this data. Next, we're going to start looking into some charts, and we're going to start doing some analysis of our data. So I'm going to select the stacked column charts. Now I'm selecting on this. Be careful not to do that. Anytime you select any item on the chart and you select anything here, what Power BI does is that it's going to change it to that element. So I'm just going to select stacked column charts to see what happens, and you see that it has changed it from a card to a stacked column chart. So I'm going to control Z to undo that, but I just wanted to let you know. So just select outside or anywhere on our sheets and then or our page, and then we're going to use the stacked column chart, and I'm just going to put this over here. We're going to move things around. So what we're looking at for this particular chart is our top selling menu items. So we're going to select item names and drag it to the x-axis, and we're going to grab total sale and put it on the y-axis. So let's just extend this so that we can see what we're looking at. So grilled chicken is the highest selling item, followed by cheeseburger and Caesar salad at third. Now we're just going to look at the lowest three. We have orange juice, garlic bread, and coffee doing poorly. So coffee is the least selling item. So we are going to, we can already see that this is sorted in descending order. If it is not for you, this is how you do it. Just let me just move this down here. You see these three dots, select it, and we are going to go to sort axis. So for me, it's already it's already on sort descending. If it's not sorted in any order at all, just select whichever you want, ascending or descending. If you want to see, if the chart was not the top selling menu items and you want to see those that are doing poorly, you can actually do this instead. So we can tell you see where which ones maybe want to improve the sales of our the items that are not doing so well and want to improve their sales. So that is when using this ascending order is going to be more useful, so we can see, oh, coffee isn't doing as well, maybe we can do some combo deals, or we can add promotions, or maybe do coupons, or maybe just do some things to encourage our customers to purchase those poorly performing items. But for the sake of this particular tutorial, we are looking at the top performing item. So I'm going to go back, sort at axis, and sort descending. Now we have more than, I believe it's more than, definitely more than 10. I want it to just be limited to the 10 because we have limited real estate. So what I'm going to do is open the filters tab. Now we're going to go to this filter on this video, and we're going to go to item name, sorry, and on this filter type, it's on basic filtering. Right now we're going to select this drop down and then select top n, and now we're going to see it's already indicating top. You can once again do bottom, so it will show you the 10, um, that's the lower 10 items. So I'm just going to leave it at top, and I'm going to type 10 here. Then I'm going to add the value I want our chart to be filtered by. So I'm just going to drag total sale to the data field here, and I'm going to apply filter, and there we have it. We have our top 10 performing items, and that's it for filtering. I believe it's only in this particular um, chart we are using this particular function. So we have our top perform top performing menu items in our restaurant, and I'm just going to close that because we want to have as much space as possible. So for our next chart, we're going to look at the sales trend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a line chart. So I'm just going to put this up here. We're going to select date and drag it to the x-axis, and we're going to select total sale and drag it to the y-axis. Now we have these dots. No worries, we're just going to change things a bit. We're going to remove we're going to remove quarter, and we're going to remove year. So for this data set, it only goes from January to June of 2024. So that's why I removed here. If I want to show you something, let me show you this. I'm going to create another line chart, and this time you can do this as well. Total sales first, and then date comes second, and then you have this, and then you can remove, let's remove D, and let's remove quarter, and in this case you can see the um I can see it's January 24, February 24. So whichever one you do, if you happen to run into an issue where you did this and you had the dots, just remove every other item except the month. Or if you put your y-axis first, you can just go ahead and you can see. And in the case of this one, all you need to do, you just remove year because it's not necessary. We already have limited space, and having the year there when it's all in the same year, it's quite redundant actually. So I'm just going to select this because they are the same thing. I just wanted to demonstrate something, and I'm going to delete this. And with that, we are done with uh, sales by month, and I'm just going to move this to this side so that we can move on to our next item, and we are going to look at sales by food category. So this time we're going to use a stacked column chart once more. Just select that. I'm going to bring this up here, maybe move it, because this one has only 4 items. So I'm going to go to category, and we're going to drag category to the x-axis, and we're going to select total sale to the y-axis. And here we can see main tends to have the higher sales, followed by sides, desserts, and then drinks. It tracks with data with coffee and I believe orange juice doing poorly. So mains tend to do bet, um, best, and drinks. And yeah, makes sense. Well, it's a restaurant. So next, let me just move this a bit to the side to create a bit more space. For our next item, we are going to be using a donut chart. So next, click on the donut chart. I'm going to reduce this, bring this up here. Next, what we're going to do in the legend, we want to look at the sales by this. So legend, we are going to use where is it? Sorry about that. We are going to use the payment method as the legend. And then what we're going to use for our values is total sale. And we can see there's an almost even split for all our payment methods, with um, online payments being the highest, second being card, and then finally cash at 30%. So there we go. That is our sale by payment method. So for the next item, we are going to be looking at the sales by hour of the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a stacked column chart. So I'm going to select hour of the day, and I'm just going to grab our hour column, put it in the x-axis, and then I'm going to grab our total sales and put it in the y-axis. And like that, we are done, and we can see that I believe this does 1 p.m., 8 p.m., and 2 p.m. is where we have our highest sales, and our lowest sales is at 3 p.m. So with that, we can figure out staffing, and we can also prepare for what meals need to be ready, because I think with Power BI everything failed. They always act as filters for each other by default. So we can take a closer look at our metrics and see what we need to do. So I'm just going to move on. I didn't sort this by highest sales because we are looking at the time of the day. So next I'm going to look at sales by day of the week. I'm going to select a stacked column chart once more, and we are going to select day, put it in the x-axis, and once again total sales in the y-axis. And this time it is arranged in the ascending or it's in descending order. I'm going to leave it as it is, like so. It's fine. So we have Monday has the highest sales, while Saturday has the lowest sales. And I'm just going to leave it like this. If you want to change it, you can change it, but it's fine. So the next chart is going to be server performance. So we're going to look at the performance of each of our servers. So once again, a stacked column chart. We're going to select server name in the x-axis and total sale in the y-axis. And there we have that Alice is the in this particular time frame. Alice performs the best and Carlos not so much. So we're just going to move this a bit, and we are going to create one more chart, which is going to be a donut chart, and that will be our final chart. And when we're looking at, we want to look at the distribution in dine options. So we are going to select, where is it, dine type, and we're going to add this to legend, and we are going to select our total sale and add it to values. Once again, there's an almost even split between all dine types, where we have um, delivery having the highest, takeaway the next, and cash. In a way, it tracks with this, because if most people are ordering take delivery for a delivery, they are probably going to pay online. So it tracks with this. So with that, we are done with all our data, and we've created our visualization. So now we're going to format this to make it more presentable and change a few features of them so that we can create our dashboard. Okay, so that it doesn't get confusing, we're going to start from top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is just select this and move it to the side. So first create we're going to insert a title for our dashboard. So in this top left corner, we're going to go to insert. Now you can bring the drop down back if you want to. I'm just going to bring it back so it becomes easier for us. I'm going to go to insert, and I'm going to select a text box, and I'm just going to write restaurant sales dashboard. There we go. And I'm going to change, so I'm going to select everything and then change the size to 36. Increase this so that everything fits, and we're going to still look at its features later. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm just going to grab this and move it to the side. Sorry, when working with Power BI, you are working with limited space, so you just have to, yeah. So now that we have this, I'm going to select this once more, and I'm going to change the alignment to center. Next, I'm just going to change the color of our text to white. So I'm going to come to font color menu, and I'm going to change it to white. Next, I'm just going to select our text box, and we're going to go to properties. I'm going to change the height to 90. And the width, we're going to make it 620. Now that we've done that, I'm just going to close this, and then we're going to go to effects. And for the background, we're going to change the color. So I'm just going to grab my notepad, and these are the hex colors I'm going to be using in this dashboard. So I'm going to select this darker blue. That's the last option. It is 316479, and I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to change the background color by selecting this drop down, going to more colors, and I'm going to paste this as the background color for our text, the title of our dashboard. Then let me just minimize this. While still in the effects tab, we're going to turn on the visual border. Now we're going to select the drop down. Now for the color of the border, we're going to set the color to the same color as our background. So select the drop down, and we already have this color here, and we're just going to select that. Then for rounded corners, we're going to increase this to 5. And with that, we are done with the, and you can see that we have our title complete for our dashboard. Now that we're done with that, we can do a bit of editing on our cards. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to select all three of them. While holding shift, I'm going to select all three. Now I won't turn off the category label so we don't get confused, because if you do that and you don't know what you're doing, I'll just advise you, first of all, give it a title first, then remove the callout label, the category label, sorry, so you don't forget. But for that, we are going to change the size of the callout value to 36, and we're going to make the text of these values smaller. Now I'm just going to press escape, and I'm just going to deselect all our items. So now we're going to edit each item separately. So I'm going to go to this first one, which is the sum of total sale. Now for the callout value, we're going to change the color to black, because it's not black, it's this really dark gray. Next, let's just collapse it so that we can see everything well. Once again, I'm not going to turn off the category label. Let's go to general first. Let's go to title, then turn on the title. So we can look at this and say, oh, that's total sales. So what we're just going to write is total sales, and we're going to write total sales here like so. Once again, change the color, the text of the color of the text to black, sorry, and then horizontal alignment to center. Now that we're done with that, we can close the title tab, go to effects. Now what we're going to do is change the background color as well. So for the background color, let's go back to our hex codes. So I'm going to use this blue, and it's 00B5C0. That's our hex code. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to change the background color, and I'm going to select more colors, paste the hex code, and there we have that. And we're going to turn on, let me collapse this. First, we're going to change the visual border on. We're going to change the color to this blue we just used, and we're going to set the rounded corners to 5. You know what? I am looking at this particularly, and this black really looks awful. So what we're just going to do is, first of all, let's change the properties. So height is going to be 90, and the width is going to be 205. So the width is already fine, so we're going to leave it as it is. So 90 by 205, and we are going to change this. Let's open the title once more. Let's change the color of our title to white this time, and then we're going to go to visual, callout value, change the color of our callout value to white. And then finally, we're going to turn off the category label. And with that, we are done with the first KPI, this card in particular. Next, we're going to move on to this one. So come to the format your visual tab, click on that. For the callout value, we're going to create this drop down. This time I'm sure it's black, so sorry about the first time. Color, go to black, select black. Now we are going to reduce the decimal places. Already display units is already in auto. We're just going to select this and we're just going to increase that to 2. So we only have 2 decimal places and we're going to collapse this. Once again, I'll say do turning off your category label last so that you don't forget what the card is referring to. So you can always look at the data tab to see what it's referring to, but to make things easier, just don't leave that for last. So next we're going to go to general, we're going to go to properties, change the height to 90 and the width to 205. There we go. Then we're going to collapse this so we can see others. Now we're going to turn on the title, click this, and we're going to write average sale per transaction. We're going to use an abbreviation of average AVG, average sale per transaction. No, that was a mistake. Next, we're going to make the text color black, select that, and then horizontal alignment to center. Then I'm going to close this as well. Now we're going to go to effects. Next, drop down. Now we're going to change the background color. So once again, we're going to grab our notepad. This time we're using the yellow FFD17F. Or you can pause the video to see it. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to minimize this as well. Go to background color, go to more colors, and I'm going to paste this yellow color like so. And we are going to, while still on the effects tab, we are going to turn on visual border, expand this, change the color to yellow, and then rounded corners will be 5px. And we are done with this. Now we're going to go back to visual, then turn off the category label, and we are done with that. Now we're going to move on to the final KPI or the final card. Once again, drop down for the callout value, change the color to black. Then we're just going to close this, go back to general, go to properties, change the height to 90 and the width. This may not work, and that is because it's way too close to this edge, so it won't expand beyond the edge. So all you need to do is move it to the side, and I'm going to increase this to 205. So if you are trying to increase the, whether it's the height or the width or something, and Power BI won't allow you to do that, it's because it's too close to the edge. So you just need to move it either inside the, or maybe to the left or to the right, or move it down or up depending on the position of the item you are trying to change the properties of. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to move this, and you see that the height also changed as well. I'm just going to also change this. So minimize properties. We are going to go to title, turn on the title, expand this, and then we're going to type in our title, and I'm going to write number of transactions. There we go. That's our number of transactions. We're going to scroll down, go to text color, select black, and horizontal alignment will be center, and we're just going to minimize this as well. Go to effects this time. We're going to change the background as well. Let me go to my notepad, And this I'm going to use the color. You can pause the video to get the color. The color is FF8975, and I'm just going to copy that, minimize this, go to more colors, paste this, and like that, like so, we have our background color. And we are going to turn on visual border color, change it to the same color as our card, and we're going to increase the rounded corners to 5. Now that we're done with that, close all this. Once again, go back to visual, turn off category label. If you are able to remember where everything is or what everything is, you can turn off all the category labels at once if you want to do that, but I like to leave it for last so that I know what I'm working on, just in case. And with that, we are done with this top section of our dashboard. Now we're going to work on our visuals. So we're just going to take it one by one. And before we begin, let's change our background color. So what I'm doing is click outside any charts, outside of our charts, and just click on the page. Now come to this tab where it's showing format your report page. Click on that, go to wallpaper, select this drop down, go to color, and you're just going to select this 10% darker gray. If you want to use an actual image or wallpaper, I've done glassmorphic effects on charts where you have the charts looking like glass. You can use an image to get that effect, but that's not the tutorial we're doing today. So I'm just going to go back to our visuals tab. So we're going to work on each um, chart one by one. Usually I'm going because we have 5 clustered stacked column charts, we have 2 pie charts. Usually what I'll do is I'll select all of them and work on all of them at once, but I don't want it to get too confusing, so I'm going to work on each one individually. So I'm just going to select, let's start with this one. Obviously we are going to go to the format your visual. First, we are going to start with x-axis. We're going to take it left to right, left then bottom. We're just going to take it really slow. Start with our x-axis. So we are going to change the color of our values to black. So it's a bit clearer. Then I'm just going to go to title on our x-axis, and we're going to remove the title. I'm going to just minimize the x-axis. We're going to move on to y-axis, and we're going to scroll down, and we are going to, let's open values first, change the color of the values to black once more, and we're just going to go to title and turn off the title, and we have changed those. Next, what we're going to go to is we're just going to, on the same tab, we're just going to go down to columns, bring that down, and we're going to change the color of the columns. So select this. Now we're going to grab our final color, which is the green 02 D1 A7, 02 D1 A7. You can pause the video to copy that, and I'm just going to copy this hex code, and I'm going to select more colors, and I'm going to paste that, and we have this green color. Now the final thing we're going to do on this chart is, there are 2 more things we have to do. We're going to change the title as well as the alignment, and we're also going to change the curve of our chart. So we're going to go to general, go to properties. Oh, we'll also change the size. So go to properties, let's change the size to, the height is going to be 295, and the width is going to be 270. Minimize the properties tab. On the title, expand it. Now we're going to change the text for the title, and what I'm going to write here is top selling menu items. There we go, and I'm just going to click. So now we have our top selling menu items. We're going to change the text color to black, and we're going to change the horizontal alignment to center. I'm going to minimize this as well, and we're going to move on to effects, which is after title. So expand effects, and we are going to turn on the visual border. Expand that, change the color to white, and then increase the rounded corners to 5. And with that, we are done with this first chart. And let's just click out here so you can see our charts. And we're done with the top selling menu items charts. The next visual we're going to be working on is the sale by month chart. So I'm just going to select that. We are going to go to format your visual tab. So we're going to select this. Once again, we'll go to x-axis and change the color of our x-axis to black. Then values, we're going to turn off the title. Now we're going to minimize x-axis, expand y-axis. Once again, for the values, we're going to change the color to black, and we're going to turn off the title. Minimize this as well so we can see. Then we're going to come to grid lines, and I'm going to expand this. Oh no, sorry, not grid lines. We're going to go to lines, not grid line. I want to change the color of the line, so I'm going to expand the line, and the line, I'm just going to scroll down to color, and I'm going to select color, and I'm going to use this coral color, if I believe FF8975. So it's already in the recent colors for me. I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to go back to lines and minimize this. Next, we're going to select markers, and what we're going to do is go down to markers, and just for the categories, we're just going to select, it's already selected at all. Now I'm going to turn on show for all categories, and it's already defaulting to the color of our line. So now that we've turned it on, we're going to have these options, and once again, go to color, select the color option, and then we are going to change it to this green. Now this dot represents January, so we can know where each data label starts. So we have January, April, May. And that's what we're going to do for that. And we're going to minimize markers. Now we're going to go to the general settings. For properties, I'm going to change the size. We're going to change the height to 295. Enter. And for the width, we're going to change this to 340. And just to give it a bit of space, we're just going to move it here. I'm going to minimize properties. We're going to expand title, and we're going to select the text for the title, and we're going to change it. So we're going to say we're going to change it to monthly sales trend. Just going to click anywhere, and then I'm going to change the text color to black. And next, I'm going to change the horizontal alignment to center, and I'm just going to scroll up, and then what I'm going to go is, next we're going to move on to the effects tab, expand this, and we are going to turn on visual border, expand that as well, change the color to white, and increase the rounded corners to 5. And with that, we are done with the monthly sales trend as well. Let me just move it to the side so you can see it. Yeah, we are done with the monthly sales trend. The next visual we're going to be working on is our total sale by category chart. So select the format visual tab, go to the x-axis, and we are going to change the color for the values in the x-axis to black, and we're going to turn off the title. Minimize this, expand the y-axis. For the values, expand that, change the color to black, and we're going to turn off the title as well. And I'm going to minimize the y-axis. Next, we're going to go to columns, and I'm going to change the color of the column to our green color. And we are done for this particular area. Next, we're going to go to general, expand properties. Height is going to be 295, and the width is going to be 275. There we go. Just going to move it a bit. I'm going to minimize this. Go to title, expand title. Now we're going to change the title to sales by food category. Then we're going to scroll down, go to text color, change the text color to black. Scroll once more, change the horizontal alignment to center, and minimize title. Go to effects, expand this, turn on visual border, expand that as well, change the color of the border to white, increase the rounded corners to 5 px, and just like that we are done with this one. Next we're going to move on to this donut chart. So I'm just going to move it a bit, go to the format visual tab. We're going to leave the legend on, so but we're going to expand it and we're going to change the position of our legend. So for our position, we're going to make it top center, like so. Next, we're going to turn off the title for the legend, like so, and then expand the text. Go to color, change it to black. I'm just going to minimize all of this. For the slices are going to have different colors. So I'm going to select this all, and I'm going to select online. So the color for online is going to be, we're going to expand this, and then we're going to select this color, and we're going to select our green color. Next, we're going to minimize this, go to online, this series, and then next time we're going to select card, expand color, expand this as well. Next, we're going to choose this coral color, like so. Go to this as well, expand this, select cash, and we're going to change the color of cash to this yellow. And yeah, like so, we are done with that as well. And I'm just going to minimize this. Now, expand the data labels, and we're going to expand values, go to color, select black, and we are done with that as well. I'm going to minimize this. Now we're going to go to general, select general, expand properties, change the height to 295, and the width is going to be 240, like so. Next, we're going to minimize properties, expand title, and we're going to change the title of our chart. We're going to change the title to payment method distribution, like so. Click, and then select text color, change it to black. We're going to change the horizontal alignment to center, and I'm going to minimize this. Go to effects, expand that as well, turn on visual border, expand that, change the color to white, and for the rounded corners we're going to increase that to 5. And I'm just going to click outside so we can see what we have there. And there we have our donut chart, and we are done for this first row of visuals, and we're going to move on to the next row. We're going to start with this. Just move it up a bit. Let me just select all of them, and I'm going to move all of them. So select the sale by hour chart. Go to Format Visuals tab. On the x-axis, we're going to expand this and expand the values as well. Change the color to black. Expand title. Oh, no. Just turn off the title. We don't need the title. Now, I'm going to minimize X. Expand our y-axis. Go to values. Expand that. Change the color to black. And then we're going to turn off the title for the y-axis as well. We're going to move to columns. Expand that. Then we're going to change the color of our columns to green. And with that, we are done with this section. Next, we'll move on to general. Go to properties. We're going to change the size. First, we're going to change the height to 295, and the width we're going to change to 370, like so. Minimize properties, expand title. We're going to change the title of our chart to sales by hour of day, like so. Just click. And next, we're going to change the color to black and horizontal alignment to center. Just minimize all of this. Next, we're going to move on to effects, expand that, turn on visual border. We're going to expand this, change the color to white, and the rounded corners, we're going to make it 5 px. And once again, we're going to take a look at our charts to make sure that everything looks fine. And yeah, we are done with sales by hour of the day charts. The next visual we're going to work on is the sum of total sale, that's sales by day of the week chart. Select that, go to the format your visual tab, expand the x-axis. We're going to change the color to black and turn off the title. Minimize this as well. Expand the x-axis, y-axis, sorry. We're going to expand the values, change the color to black. We're going to minimize this, then turn off the title. Minimize the y-axis as well. Go to columns, select color, and we're going to change the color of the columns to green. Minimize this as well, and we're done with this. Go to general, expand properties, change the height to 295 by 340, like so. I'm just going to move this a bit to the side. Going to minimize properties, expand the titles tab, select all of this, and we're going to change the title of this chart to sales by day of the week. Of the week, like that. Just going to click, and we're going to go to text color, change the text color to black, go to horizontal alignment, select center, and we're going to minimize this too. Move on to effects, expand this, turn on visual border, expand this as well, change the color to white, and rounded corners is going to be 5. Once more, just take a look at your charts to make sure everything is fine, and we are done with sales by day of the week. Next, we are going to move on to the total sale by server name. That's the performance of our servers. So select that. Go to Format Visuals tab. Now we're going to expand the x-axis, change the color to black, turn off the title. Let's minimize this. Expand the y-axis. Let's expand the values. Change the color to black. Minimize this as well. Turn off the title. Let's minimize y-axis. Scroll down, go to columns, change the color to green, and then we're going to minimize this. Next, go to general. We're going to expand the properties tab, and then we're going to change the dimensions to 295 and the width to 275, like so. Next, we're going to minimize the properties, expand the title, and we're going to change the title of this chart as well. Change it to sales performance by server. Server, like so. Scroll down, change the text color to black, change the horizontal alignment to center, and I'm going to minimize this. Finally, we're going to expand the effects tab, turn on the visual border, expand this, so change the color to white, and increase the rounded corners to 5 px. And as like that, we are done with the sales performance by server. For our final visual, we're going to work on this. I'm just going to move it a bit because we'll have to change the dimensions. So go to Format Visuals tab, and for the legend, we're going to expand the legend. Once again, make this top center and expand the text, change the text color to black. We're going to turn off the title. I'm going to minimize this as well. Next, move on to slices. Just select the first one, which is delivery. Change the color to green, and next we're going to select takeaway. Change the color to this coral color, and then finally select driving and change the color to yellow. Minimize slices, expand data labels. We're going to go to values, and we're going to change the color to black. And with that, we are done for this section. Next, let's move on to general. Expand properties, change the height to 295, and the width is going to be 240, like so. And I'm going to minimize this. Expand the title type and rename this to sales by dine option. Okay, we're going to change the text color to black, horizontal alignment to center. I'm going to minimize this as well. Finally, we're going to expand the effects, and we're going to turn on visual border, expand this, change the color to white, and the rounded corners to 5 px. And with that, we are done with all our visuals. And now we're going to um, rearrange everything so that we have a nice looking dashboard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this text box, and I'm going to use my arrow key to move it 5 times to the right and 5 times down So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Now I'm going to select this one. I'm just going to move, make sure it's touching the top right corner of our sheet, and I'm going to move it just like we did with the text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to select this, leave this selected, hold shift, select all of this, including the text box as well. Go to format, align, and I am going to align bottom. Once again, select align, and I am going to distribute horizontally. I'm just going to click out of that. Now I'm going to select this one, and now we can use our guidelines to place this here. Do the same for this one and place it so it's aligned with this card here. I'm going to select all of these charts, and once again go back to format, go to align, align middle. Once again, we are also going to distribute horizontally. So while everything is selected, I'm just going to move it down a bit. Just going to move everything down like so, just to make sure. And then I'm also going to move this here as well, so it's aligned with this as well. And I'm going to move this so it's aligned with this as well. Now I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to align, align middle, align, distribute horizontally. And I'm just going to click out of this and see if I'm satisfied, and I am not. I'm going to select everything. Just going to select everything. Oops, I clicked something. Let me just going to select everything, and I'm just going to move all of it upward also slightly, like so. I realized by doing this it probably isn't perfectly aligned, but you know what, it's fine. So now I'm just going to minimize this ribbon, minimize this as well, and now we can look at our dashboard. And with that, we are done with our restaurant sales dashboard, and I'm just going to click on it to make sure that Power BI does this automatically, so everything is working fine. And with that, we are done with our restaurant sales dashboard. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned something new. With that said, have a great day and take care.